Jason, it's not
Is
live.
Fire Talk Radio
Well,
Podcast, and you can check us out on firetalkradio.com. You can email us at firetalknetwork@gmail.com. You can send us a voicemail at 814-380-9820. You can always check us out live on YouTube and Rumble. Hit the like and subscribe button to find out when we go live, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting streaming platform.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Fire Talk Radio episode 76 proudly brings to you. We are going to talk about the greatest escape of them all, the billionaires lost at sea going for Titanic eating them. We're going to look at some JP Morgan issues where they had a settlement and then they got trouble for deleting emails. Wonder who they got that idea from. We're going to look at the Hunter Biden issue of getting a slap on the wrist, the possible implications of possible Joe Biden getting impeached, and the possible upcoming civil war of Russia. This and more on Fire Talk Radio.
I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to. Hey, we're back after a nice little break there. How you doing, Ryan?
I got back from vacation and I didn't fall off a mountain.
Were you climbing a mountain?
No. All right. So our cabin in Gatlinburg, some of the newer roads that Gatlinburg is putting in have no guardrails. So if you don't go through the town of Gatlinburg, which we started fucking doing, you go up and over a mountain, and it scared the shit out of my wife because there's no guardrails and it's a drop. So we survived, thank fucking God on that. But I mean, yeah, I was out on vacation for 2 weeks. I went and saw family. I got to see my brother for the first time in like 15 years due to family complications. But that was very very indeedly fun. Nice, relaxing. I didn't have to get uptight, just mellow, and it was fantastic. Got to do some horseback riding. My brother and my son went and did zip lining. I'm too fat to zip line. It's that Kevin Smith thing. Too fat to fly.
Yeah.
It's too fat to zip line. But we did these inner tube. They had inner tube slides, and then, which is funny because I'm 6'2" and my brother is 6'6". So we actually ended up going down at the same time, and then we started spinning to the point to where we had to bring in our feet because we would have collided going down the hill. It was just all sorts of chaos. But vacation's good. Vacation's over. Back to work. Student loans, gotta love them. That is coming up soon, so that will probably be on next week's show. The decision making of the student loan discharge, if it happens, if the Supreme Court allows it or doesn't allow it. So I hope to have more information on that.
Now, one of the questions, though, on that whole thing, because, I'm going back for my teaching and stuff
Correct.
like that. And one of the teachers told me that as a part of the student loan discharge, that they're getting rid of the teacher and public service discharge that has been in place. It's lies?
Lies. Tell you that right now. That's a lie. I don't know where you're.
Okay.
Stop looking at Reddit.
I'm not looking at Reddit. I'm talking to other teachers.
No, they're looking at Reddit.
Okay.
No. The programs for the forgiveness for student loans, they are staying intact. Those are actually written into the master promissory note. So those programs, The only way for them to go away is to rewrite a new contract, and Department of Education doesn't have that kind of time.
So me going back to get my teaching, if I still like stay in teaching for 10 years, I'm still good.
Yeah, PSLF
Okay.
isn't going anywhere.
Although I just because we're talking, I'm actually kind of changing my plan a little bit for it because I was talking with one college. In this college, Michigan has what they call a fast track program. If you already
Sure.
have your degree, they'll fast track you where you take your tests and then they give you a like provisional teaching license while you go to school.
Sure.
But, and I don't know if it's just this school or if it's all schools, but they said, because I was asking them about my FAFSA and my life circumstances and everything going on.
Absolutely.
And they said, FAFSA doesn't even matter to you. You still have to fill it out, but it doesn't matter because you're a grad student, meaning you get no financial aid anyway. You can get grants, like Teach Grant, or Michigan has their own thing. But because I'm going in as a grad student for a graduate certificate, I have to get personal graduate loans, not federal loans.
There should be. We'll talk off the air more about it, but
Okay. Yeah, that was one. And so I'm like, well, if that's the case, why would I go through you? Because you want $10,000 a semester. I'm not taking $40,000 personal loans out. I'll go back to school as an undergraduate again.
Yeah, no,
It'll take me longer, but
start over. No, but yeah, we'll talk more about student loans hopefully next week when the decision does come out, because Department of Justice has decided to keep that to the very fucking end of the
yeah.
deliberation.
Let's wait until everybody's like about
well,
ready to explode.
There was 2 deliberations like the last 48 hours, and I was like, oh, please make up your mind. Nope.
Yeah, which is strange
Not
because
today.
most of them are written by the beginning of June, and then they just kind of trickle them out every Thursday or so.
Yeah, it's like Thursday or Monday. Yeah,
There's
it's
something like
weird.
that throughout June. And now it's like they're actually like holding off on deliberating or coming to their final.
Right now, they did a poll at the beginning of June. An estimated poll right now, it's showing 6-3, not passing. So we'll see what happens once the final arguments come out and the discussions and what's what. So other than that, we'll see what happens.
What's really funny, if you watch the video, go to YouTube or go to Rumble or go to what's the other one? Not Ustream. That's gone. What's our other streaming service that we use?
Twitch.
Twitch,
Rumble, YouTube.
If you're watching us, you can see I'm up in like an attic of an old farmhouse with no air conditioning right now up here, and it's like 90 degrees and I have sweat rolling down. Ryan is in the basement and he looks cool as can be right now.
Fuck yeah. All right, so speaking of cools, US, so with the biggest distraction of the week of a submarine going, or it looked like an oil, like an oil tanker that you would.
I'm pretty sure that's what they did, is they just took like somebody's propane pig, and turned it into a submarine.
Yeah, right. But that was the biggest. But the problem is, like, I was reading where the U.S. Navy actually heard it implode.
Yeah,
the day it went down and didn't say anything. And I'm like, that's fucked up.
There's so much messed up with this. First off, okay,
ship makes a really good, makes a very good thing about it.
Let me listen to this first.
All right. Make sure I got my sound on that one.
The United States Navy knew that the folks that were on the Titan were dead. They've known since last Sunday. A U.S. Navy detected what was likely the Titan explosion on Sunday, according to an official. The U.S. Navy acoustic system detected an anomaly Sunday that was likely the Titan's fatal explosion, according to a senior military official. The Navy had gone back to analyze its acoustic data after the Titan submersible was reported missing last Sunday. The Navy passed on the information to the Coast Guard, which continued its search because the Navy did not consider the data to be definitive. They've known all week that them folks were dead. They didn't put this out earlier this week. They didn't put it out Sunday when they got the memo. They've known all week, but they decided to wait to announce it until JP Morgan Chase was fined by the SEC after mistakenly deleting 47 million emails. Because of those deleted emails, the report indicated that JP Morgan is now unable to comply with at least 12 civil securities related to regulatory probes to comply with subpoenas and document requests for communications because they've been permanently deleted. Furthermore, you should research the actual Titanic sinking and JP Morgan. You all were right. This was an orchestrated distraction.
So I don't
She's
think
not wrong. She's
No,
not wrong.
I
I've
don't think-
done the whole Titanic thing with JP Morgan, and that rabbit hole is too long for this show today.
So I'm normally between the two of us, the one that stays out of the rabbit holes. But here's the thing: I don't think that they like planned on it going down or imploding or anything. But I think, how does Obama put it, or his one of his top guys? Don't let a good crisis go to waste. And I think that's what happened. They knew right away. That's why do you think it took them so long to actually start searching? If they were really on a rescue mission, they would have been out there right away. They would have been diving. They would have been doing so much right away. They would have found it within a day.
and you know who got it right again? Simpsons.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Let's see what the Simpsons did many moons ago.
I'm filled with joy, searching for treasure with my long-lost son. My dream for each of you is that you find the happiness I feel today.
And my dream is to someday wear a real wetsuit instead of one that is just painted on.
And they painted on the back.
There we go.
These waters contain some of Mother Nature's creatures.
That's what you get for being luminous, jerks.
Homer, look! The treasure of Pisa Mojado!
Hey guys, we found the treasure. When I get to shore, I'm bringing it right to the bar.
I'll see you soon, Homer. We got somebody else coming in.
This is WA3QIZ. Do you read me?
Seymour, isn't it about time you made a real friend?
Mother, please. I'm communicating with my fellow hams.
How do I talk? You're all losers!
Oh, which way did Mason go? That must be him over there.
Don't! What do I do?
Oh.
See,
Yeah.
I mean, they got
So-
it right.
First off, I used to work with a guy that was a ham, and it drove me nuts every time we got in his car. Very first thing is he would say, and I won't say his call letters, but it was like
Sure.
ABCDEF 89335 mobile, and then hang up, and it's like it drove me nuts. And then he talk about how I talked to Russia last night. I'm like, okay, but nope, they got it right again. Either what's his name? Gronin, the creator, is from the future.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
Or he's a part of the Illuminati and orchestrates everything in the world.
absolutely.
But okay, here's the thing. Couple things about this. One, it wasn't like they were doing any type of exploration or anything. I like how a lot of people put it. These people are basically, it's like somebody spending a lot of money because they spent $250,000 to get on this rickety thing.
Yeah.
And the only reason they spent that much is because the guy that made it said it's worth $250,000. It's like you bought it at Home Depot. You bought your parts off Amazon. I probably Wish too. I'm sure there was a couple Wish products on there.
Well, James Cameron came out who directed Titanic, said their carbon fiber submersible titanium hull was not going to make it.
Right. And you're talking about
fact
the
that
guy.
they- no,
James
were
Cameron has
using-
made like what 6 or 7 trips down to the Titanic.
Yeah, and the fact that they were using a Logitech
Oh my god!
remote, a Logitech video game controller, a $30 controller that is an off-brand for PlayStation.
And not only that, the reviews on it, people are destroying that before it even, they pulled it from Amazon, by the way, Logitech did, but the reviews on it were awful. People talking about it's constantly losing connection. It's
Stick drift, terrible stick drift.
I mean, all of this. They were using originally, up until this one, they were using a PS3 controller.
Yeah, they probably would have actually made it then.
Yeah, the PS3 controller would have been better. Just saying. But so then
The fact that they were
they
using
have
video game
videos with the
controllers.
guy. Can you find some of the videos with the guy talking about it? He talks about buying, oh, this part came from Camping World, and this part came from Amazon, and I bought this part. I just thought I needed something here. The ballasts were made from like old oil tankers or something like that. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, he literally MacGyvered that thing together. And MacGyver should have been on that boat with them. It was crazy. And that's why on Facebook, literally I put, when I shared it, I said, tip to everybody, don't go deep sea diving on a submarine that was made from Home Depot. Because we all know what these big box stores are. And that's basically what he made it out of. Like, it was all off the shelf stuff. Nothing was custom made. Nothing was fabricated. I don't even know if he ever, like, this is like their third or fourth dive, but I don't think they ever went down to the Titanic before, did they?
No, I don't think they made it before. No, if they had videos of them assembling from Ocean Gate, they've taken that down.
They've taken it all down. Yeah. They removed it very quickly.
I mean,
yeah. So this is one, I think the hardest part though with this is looking at Twitter and looking at social media. This is a tragedy. Okay.
Oh, absolutely, it's a tragedy. But the problem is it's how we use this. It's because look at it, it's a smoke screen. I mean,
no, the part that pisses me off though are the leftists pulling up the donation records of the people that were on board and making it political. Oh, they this person, don't feel bad for him, he donated to the Republican Party, don't worry about this person. It's like, how can you make this political? This is not political. First off, okay, these guys, the videos that they pulled down, some of the guys that were talking about how this is about the quest of humans for exploration. You're not exploring anything. The Titanic's been explored over and over and over again by ships that could make it down there. But this is like somebody that has a lot of money saying, you know what, safari, and because I need adventure. You're a tourist. That's all it was. There's no explored. Thing is you're a tourist that, I'm sorry to say, basically got conned into spending. I mean, he took what? How many people did he take down? 4?
5. So it was total 5 people.
So he made
him and 4 others
$1 from them 5 people.
What? And one of them, they were talking about it while they were looking for the submarine. The one guy's kid was at a Blink-182 concert. They had to make that known. Like his kid wasn't even at home waiting. He went out to have a concert. I can tell you right now, that kid's last thought on his mind was, my dad just spent $250,000 to go on the sub. Do I wonder if he made it back or not?
Yeah.
He's probably thinking that the sub was for that kind of money.
Well, that's
was going to take him down.
You would think for $250,000, like we're talking like Navy style, like engineered. But instead, what they got was, DIY off Reddit engineered. And you don't DIY a sub.
No. So like we had ship run right at the beginning. It's amazing that the United States Navy was aware, and that the administration, there is an article out there that shows the administration said not to say anything. Wait till the last day when they were counting up for the air. That alone should have been a red flag.
Right, because we knew Thursday they were out of air. But
Yeah.
they knew Sunday that it imploded.
So, there I sent you. I know I sent you the video. I gotta find. Let me grab it.
Yeah, my
there's a
videos for some reason are not syncing when I download them. Are not syncing with.
yeah,
my
no,
computer.
it's fine. I'll grab him. There's a guy who does the shark, the shark finders, and he noticed 2 sharks out there where the Titanic was.
Which is about
And-
90 miles off the coast of the U.S.
Yeah, and literally was like, this is not normal behavior kind of thing. Trying to find it. There it is. And they like, okay, great. I mean, but the thing is, when they were talking about like there was a thud every like 30 seconds, what if that was a shark hitting the
Hitting it,
canister?
yeah.
So
I may or may not have just found the missing submarine. If you go back 2 videos ago, I predicted that this would happen. This is a free shark tracking app that you can download on your phone right now. Just type in Shark Tracker in the App Store. And these 2 sharks pinged this morning at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning. The 2 sharks are Andromache and Simon. Every living creature has patterns in their behavior. And this is not a pattern. This will inevitably get deleted by OSearch, the shark tracking app. But the statistical likelihood of both of these sharks swimming to the exact same location where the Titanic sunk and Titan, the missing submarine, is located is an imaginary number that doesn't exist. This is the location of the Titanic, and that is the exact same location where the sharks pinged this morning. Whoever is looking for the crew in the submarine Titan needs to contact OSearch instantaneously and ask them for the coordinates before they delete them. I know on here we have a lot of fun with the Megalodon conspiracy theories, but I genuinely, to my core, believe that this ping is accurately showing where the submarine is. At the very least, OSearch, if you see this video, please stop removing the pings that you consider glitches. They are not glitches. There are things in the...
yeah, no, I mean, I made the joke like where it was. I said, I bet the Megalodon came out and ate it.
Eat it. Yeah.
I mean, it could happen, right? It could fucking happen.
Supposedly, we have so much uncharted territory on the ocean floor. Megalodon may still be down there somewhere. Who knows? But no, that's the thing. With this is, again, you can't let a good tragedy go to waste. And
Oh, they fucking milked it. They milked that
milked it.
one.
And you almost kind of knew that they did because, again, we're talking Thursday. When did they find it? Did they find it Thursday or did they find it Friday?
I think they found pieces Friday.
Pieces Friday. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking it up to see, but they knew about it since, Sunday. And if they thought they were still alive and it was a rescue mission, they would have been out there right away. Like, they would have not said, hey, this is going to search for the Titanic. We know where the Titanic is. Let's start there. And they didn't. And so, that's the thing. They knew because they didn't go out there so quickly, they knew. On top of that, a lot of these vessels are not untethered from the surface. They have a tether that goes to the surface. They lost communication. They have a tether that goes to the surface. This one did not. And like
Mistakes were
there's so
made.
much there's so much about this that makes you go, why are so many smart people getting into this thing and saying, yeah, take my money, take my $250,000 and let's get in this Home Depot made contraption. And I think it's the
Mistake-
Prada effect. The Prada
Mistakes were
effect
made.
is, yeah, the Prada effect is the only reason Prada is as expensive as it is because Prada says that it's expensive. So people think that it has to be quality and it has to be good. That's it. And that's what this guy did. He was a charlatan that basically conned people and they lost their lives on it. Now, the news covering that instead of JP Morgan, and we're going to talk about JP Morgan right now.
Well,
So
okay,
much is
so
going
JP
on.
Morgan at this moment, they have agreed to pay $290 million to the Epstein victims. The reason
Yeah.
why is people may not have realized JP Morgan, the financial company, financed Epstein's Island. Because remember, I think we talked about it like a few months ago.
Yep.
Virginia Islands were actually investigating JP Morgan of like, hey, you knew what you were doing when Epstein was having this island.
And
Why
there
were
was
you giving them
emails.
money?
And
Yeah.
there was emails back and forth of them saying, hey, we need to keep funding this because he's going to bring in people that will give us money and, you know, open up accounts and stuff at our banks.
So that finally came through. So a back deal lawsuit settlement came through. JP Morgan said, fuck it, $290 million. Get them to leave us alone. Is it right? No, not at fucking all. Of the conspiracy,
But they funded it from 1998 to 2013.
yeah, it's still not enough money. My thing is that it was the biggest conspiracy that Epstein was the CIA. Because if you really think about it, he had connections everywhere.
Like-
Why wouldn't he be?
The thing is we're learning because a lot of people are saying, and this was my question when he got arrested, how did he make all his money to begin with?
That's the thing. A lot of people ask that question. How did he make his money?
Nobody knows. Like, oh, he was an investor. Investor in what?
He was
Like-
the thing is, before he made his money, he was a teacher. He was a college
Yeah.
professor.
Right. So a lot of that is, when you start looking back with JP Morgan and everything that's going on, these are all, he's got so much dirt on so many people. He was blackmailing so many rich people to not only give
He
him
was
money,
blackmailing Bill Gates because,
but to actually work with JP Morgan, I'm assuming, because we don't know now because they scrubbed all of their
47
records.
Yeah, $47 million. Oh, man, my mic is all sorts of weird right now. 47 million emails.
Right.
Because they're being investigated. They're looking at it for Epstein and all other sorts of money laundering schemes. So
Yep.
JP Morgan was like, what emails? Click. I believe they had to talk to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we have the JP Morgan. And I mean, there's really not much for me to say about this. JP Morgan should be paying out a hell of a lot more. They're being investigated by the SEC and other stuff like that. Because they knew what was going on. Like, there's no way they couldn't have figured it out. Otherwise, they wouldn't have scrubbed all of them emails.
Honestly, the only way we got to JP Morgan with the island with Epstein was the Virginia Islands.
Yeah.
The attorney general there making that connection.
Yep. And
is how we ended up down this road. You do know Epstein's Island got sold. There's occupants now back on the island, and
Yep.
it's like, that's weird. That island went up. That island got bought real quick. I didn't think that should have been a fucking crime scene. That island should have never been sold to anybody.
That should have
That's
been
a crime scene.
that should have had FBI like combing every inch of it. for
CSI,
years.
fuck, spraying the luminol. Ew. Oh,
Exactly.
Ew.
They spray it. Why is the whole room glowing?
Black light. No black light. No black light. My eyes. My eyes.
That's the joke. You never want to take a black light into a hotel room. You don't want to know what goes on in there. Just
Don't do
but
it. Just don't do it.
but there's another part of this. You know what else was happening? It came out last week and then into this week, but it was pushed way down. Was Hunter Biden?
Yep, we'll get into Hunter Biden. All right, so Hunter Biden had a backdoor plea deal for his tax evasion.
Like he didn't even get a slap on the wrist. He got
Oh
a
no, this
kiss
is
on
all
the
he got
wrist.
was a slap on the wrist.
No, you got like a kiss on the wrist.
All right, so I think I got a video for that somewhere, but I'll grab that here in a moment.
So Hunter Biden gets
Oh, here
a
it
slap
is.
on the wrist, and basically, he owed over $1 million in back taxes, which means how much did he actually make to owe $1 million?
Well, the whistleblower came out and it was like 17 million or something like that.
Right.
It was a godly amount. But
Anybody else that owes that, well, look at Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes owed less than that, and they locked his ass up. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden still says he's proud of his son.
oh wait, I got one. There it is. Found it. Give me a second. Because right when you said Wesley Snipes, I was like, oh wait, I have this one. Because this will put it all in context.
Not paid their taxes like Hunter Biden. We have Pete Rose, tax evasion, 5 months in prison. Wesley Snipes, tax evasion, 3 years in prison. And Mike the Situation Sorrentino, tax evasion, 8 months in prison, all felony charges.
Am I yelling? Because all of this makes me mad. Leona Helmsley famously said, only the little people pay taxes. Well, she didn't pay her taxes and she went to
How'd that
prison
work
for
for
4
her?
years. Exactly. Richard Hatch, the first winner of Survivor, tax evasion, 51 months sentenced to prison. Kodak Black charge lying on gun purchase form. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that was the other one.
Hunter
Yeah.
Biden did. In essence, the charge is complicated, but his prison sentence was 46 months. So to anybody
So
who
he
says
didn't get a diversion? No diversion for Kodak Black?
no,
4 years.
Kodak Black, a little ring-a-ding-ding if you say that justice doesn't pursue these charges.
So you look at this, don't tell me there isn't a two-tier justice system. Hunter Biden is being treated differently than everybody else because his last name is Biden.
And
most Americans see this.
And the Justice Department and IRS always go after celebrities.
Right.
They want to make examples of all of these individuals to send a message to the rest of America.
Right.
You can't get away with not paying your taxes. You cannot get away with incorrectly or falsifying information on Form 4473 as part of the background check. And
Unbelievable.
by the way, you know who implemented the using Form 4473 as part of the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act
Joe Biden.
to beef up gun security and safety? Joe Biden, then Senator, head of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
You can't write this.
No,
you can't
you
make it up.
can't. And I'm so angry.
All right.
All right, let's.
So everyone probably knows the background on this because this all happened a week ago, but they buried it. So
Oh, yeah.
basically, two things happened with Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. He owed over $1 million. I think it was like $1.4 million or something like that in taxes.
Something stupid, yes.
Yes. Back taxes that he did not pay. And then he purchased a gun. And what they're talking about that form is that basically it asks, are you addicted to any controlled substance? And it lists them out. marijuana, cocaine, amphetamines, blah, 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 blah. And he said no, while he was snorting pixie dust off the, carpet. Or was
Well,
it
he did say that was more Parmesan cheese. than crack
Parmesan
cocaine.
cheese? Yes. He was snorting Parmesan cheese off the carpet. So this form, by the way, because of medical marijuana, is messing with so many people in legal states. Because if you have a medical marijuana card, that automatically precludes you from buying a firearm, because they use that card to say, well, you admit by having, whether you actually use it or not, or like a lot of people that I know literally only use it periodically for extreme pain. I use
mine for sleep.
Or sleep. I know family members that are in so much pain that, and I always tell people, because I've used it in the past also for pain, it doesn't get rid of the pain, but makes you not care about it as much.
Makes you not think.
The thing is
my mom,
but the thing is
used it for her with her cancer, and we both did it just so we could both not think about it.
Right. But the thing is that does not make you addicted to it. According to the federal government, though, if you have a card, even a medical card, that means you're addicted. So many people are
until the federal law changes on medical marijuana, on marijuana laws, period.
Yep.
It's
so people are actually getting the ATF coming after them because they purchased the firearm, said they're not addicted, which they probably aren't, but they're coming after and they're seizing them and they're charging them because they have a card. Now, Hunter Biden, who we have lots and lots and lots of evidence that he was addicted.
Receipts. Gotta love those receipts.
To cocaine. So what happened was he bought a firearm. His girlfriend at the time, who was also his brother's wife after she died, which is creepy. After he died, which is creepy in and of itself, took his firearm, threw it away, which is also illegal. You can't just throw a firearm away in the garbage.
By a school.
Across the street from a school.
In a school zone. It's in a zone. It's in a school zone.
The Secret Service, this was while the Secret Service went to retrieve the firearm. Firearm wasn't there. They went to the place that sold him the firearm and wanted him to give over all the work. He refused. Good for him. Not taking it from the Secret Service.
Yeah, no.
They were demanding that he give it over and destroy. Basically, they wanted to destroy any evidence that Hunter Biden, this is the federal government, this is a Secret Service trying to cover up for Hunter Biden.
Hey,
for Joe Biden.
We have your two favorite lawyers of TikTok going to go over the plea deal.
Yep.
President Biden's son, Hunter, has just been charged with 1 felony for illegally possessing a firearm and 2 misdemeanors for failing to pay taxes.
This, of course, comes on the heels of President Trump's recent criminal charges, as well as Andrew Tate's in Romania. If he'd been convicted, Hunter would have faced up to 12 years in prison.
But he agreed to enter into a plea deal in order to avoid jail time.
The deal requires him to plead guilty to the 2 misdemeanor tax charges, but for the more serious firearm offense, he'll only have to enter a diversionary program, which is similar to probation.
All of this has pissed off a lot of Republicans. Trump compared the deal to a mere traffic ticket, while DeSantis called it a sweetheart deal.
And Republicans in Congress have vowed to keep investigating Hunter for alleged corruption and bribery.
They're not wrong. He should be. Like, this is, like we said, and like that first clip showed, there's a 2-tiered. And if your last name is Biden, you can literally get away with anything. If you're a Democrat, you can get away with anything. If you're a Republican, you can't. Okay, let's talk about real quick Trump.
Sure.
because we were on hiatus when all this happened. This was the first week of hiatus, so it's old
30,
news now.
37 charges. Yep.
37 charges. Now, there's a legal and a political angle to this.
This is all political. There's
there's a legal. Well, let me go over the legal part first.
Sure.
Okay, the legal part. Can he be charged and can he be convicted of taking the documents? Yes. There's loopholes in there that I'm sure they're going to go after, but they caught him on tape saying that they weren't basically.
Here's the thing with that. No, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. You're not wrong. The thing is, they did this to Bill Clinton. Same thing.
He took
and
tapes.
the lawyers came out and said, per the Presidential Act, these are now personal property.
Right.
Therefore,
and that's
they
going to be,
already have. But the thing is,
I think that's
the
going
Department
to be
of
a
Justice
defense.
now has precedent. There's a precedent. There is a prior court case with a former president that
Right.
did the same goddamn thing.
I'm not saying
no.
Right. I'm not saying there's not a defense there.
Oh, I'm not saying there isn't.
I'm
a
saying
defense.
it would suck right now to be Trump's attorneys because Trump needs to shut the hell up.
Well,
But-
the thing is, Trump really isn't talking about it. He's really not
talking about it. He went on Brett Baer and basically, like, his. Did you listen to the Brett Baer interview?
No, I didn't. I
Oh
didn't
my
get a
God,
chance to.
you know his lawyers, like current lawyers, because he changes lawyers like I change socks. But his lawyers are like pulling their hair out, going, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, shut up. But it's Trump. Trump can't shut up, and it's his mouth that always gets him into more trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
But
But,
they
like,
would have absolutely no case if Trump didn't like say anything.
Oh, well,
But,
I
okay.
was
So there,
talking
that's
to-
the legal. That's the legal
Oh,
side
yeah.
of it. But then there's the political side, and that's the hard part. Is you have to separate them, but it's hard to separate them because, like you said, the political side is, two Clintons basically did the same thing. You had Bill Clinton taking tapes, and the court said no, per the presidential, that's his personal property. The president can take whatever he wants. Then you have Hillary Clinton, who literally whitewashed. What'd she use? BeachBit,
Something
her
like that.
servers that she had classified information that she shouldn't have had on a non-secured server.
Absolutely.
She bleach bit it, which is hindering an investigation.
Yep.
You have Biden, while he was a senator and while he was a vice president, did not have the authority to unclassify documents, having hundreds of classified documents sitting in his garage where Hunter Biden's doing blow off them, claiming that, well, my garage door locked, so therefore it was in a locked, secured building. That's like me saying, yeah, no one can break into my house because I have a lock on my door. You have Obama, who we know has thousands of classified documents, and he's admitted to. They never go after. So again, there's one tier for the Democrats and another for the Republicans. Trump, remember during the 2016 during the 2016 campaign, said Hillary Clinton needs to be locked up. It was the DOJ, his DOJ, that said, we can't go after them because we're setting a precedent of going after former administration people.
Actually, no. Donald Trump actually stated that he did not want them to go after her because he didn't want it to look like he's going after his political opponent.
Right. But it was because of who was his first attorney general?
Flynn. I think it was Flynn.
No, it wasn't Flynn. No. It began with an
Durham.
S.
No, I don't remember
No,
what you.
I can't. Yeah, it began with an S. But even Barr said the same thing to him later on.
Yeah.
That you be setting precedent, and we don't want to set precedent of going after your political rivals. Well, now, guess what? This
Joe Biden's already going after.
Joe
his political
Biden's going after. It's going to be open season when Republicans get back in charge of going after, because now they set the precedent. And that's the thing. It's the same thing with the what was it last week? They wanted to censor, and they did censor Congressman
Adam
Schiff. Last week they actually didn't get the votes to censor him because they wanted to censor him, and then they wanted to charge him $16 million, half of what it cost for the investigation into Trump. And
they used the First Amendment for Adam Schiff for his comments, saying that he cannot be liable for what was said. And it's like, and I understand. I am one for the First Amendment. I'm very one for the First Amendment and being able to speak your mind, be able to take the evidence, take what documents and everything that is being provided, and be able to form an opinion.
Right.
What Adam Schiff did, though, we are all aware that the Steele dossier was bought and paid by Hillary Clinton and the DNC with fraudulent information, and then all he
and the
did
whole
was,
investigation was fraudulent. He knew that right from the get-go, and he was basically had a tent at MSNBC telling people, oh, we've got big news coming. I've seen it. I've seen all the information. There was nothing there. He knew it, but he was lying.
Absolutely.
Like straight up lying, not just giving his opinion.
So,
but last week, so last week, the reason that it went down is because Comer and a few others said, we cannot set the precedent that we're going to charge other congressmen because they're in the minority. Because then once the Democrats get into the majority, they're going to start charging us. And understandably, I think the thing is because the Republicans want to not set the precedent, the Democrats, next time they get into power, are going to do exactly that. They're not just going to censor like Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're going to censor her, and then they're going to charge her a fine on top of it. And the Democrats are going to set the precedent. The Democrats always set the precedent and then get pissed when Republicans use it. Remember, it was the Democrats that set the precedent that you can get a justice or a federal judge appointed on a simple majority. They set the precedent in 2013. They set the precedent because they didn't want the Republicans holding up Obama appointed judges. Well, guess what? Trump comes in, and now they're complaining because Trump was able to use their precedent to get 2 Supreme Court justices in. Same precedent. They started it.
I think he got 3. No, I thought he got 3.
2. He got he got
Kavanaugh and
what's her name? Yeah. So they set the precedent, and then they get mad at Republicans for using their precedent. They set the precedent now against Trump. And I guarantee it may not be Trump that gets in, but the next time a Republican is in, they're going to use that precedent.
Absolutely. My thing is, like, I think I was talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about, like, what would happen if Trump came into office. I said, I know exactly what's going to happen when Trump gets in the office. He goes, what? I said, he's bitter. He's going to be bitter because he knows he doesn't have another term to worry about. This is his last term. So he's going to go in day one. He is going to just fucking clean house. He is going to get rid of everybody he can get rid of, redo everything.
Yeah, basically do like what Biden did and said, everything that Biden signed, I'm nixing
undoing. Just fuck you.
Yep.
And just fucking, he's just going to do executive order after executive order, and I'll just do it. Because there's nothing going to stop him
Well, and on top of that, don't forget, Biden set that precedent of executive order after executive order after. Well, Obama really started that precedent.
But
Biden took it to the next degree because.
But he's going to be truly bitter and vengeful. He's going to
You know-
go after everybody that win at, because like he said, they're not going after him. They're going after us. But he is in the way.
Yeah, and that was a great speech in 2016. The problem is in 2024, he needs to go back to that speech. Right now, Trump has it, and this is where I'm afraid he's going to lose.
All the damn red tape. He's
No,
going to get
but
the wall built. He's going to get us back to being
I'm going to tell
independent.
you right now, in a general election, I think Trump will lose if he continues what he's saying right now, which is not they're coming after me because I'm standing in the way of blocking them from you. Right now, they're coming after me because they don't like me, and you need to stand up for me. And he's going to lose because of that. He's going to, because listen, the Republicans are going to vote for him.
Oh, yeah.
The Democrats are going to vote against him.
Absolutely.
It's that 10% independence that he has to sway. And
but the problem is
right
there's
now
a lot
he's
of
not
people out
swaying
there
them.
that are like, we can't do another 4 years of Biden. We can't. And that's true. I don't think the United States could survive another 4 years of Biden. Simply because if you
we're going
to hit another Great Depression.
Well, and we're heading towards another civil war.
Oh.
We've talked about this so many times. And I think we would be in the civil war right now had Trump not gotten elected.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
It was starting with, okay, let's take race relations. First of all, race relations were actually really good up until 2010, 2011, 2012.
I mean, it was
was
race
president.
Mm-hmm.
It was because Obama was race baiting, and the Democrats, because they thought they had a coalition of minorities because of the 2008 election, that they need to race bait and basically pit white against black, white against Hispanic, white against, and think they can build up that minority coalition. And all they're doing is they're making tensions higher. I can tell you right now, most white people don't care about race relations. It's not on the forefront. But because of the way that they're pushing things, a lot of minorities do believe in that there is a difference and is against it. You have Democrats versus Republicans. It's going to be a civil war on ideological, and it's because of the Democrats pushing all of this. They talk about wanting to be the team of, or the party of unity, but everything that comes out of their mouth is divisive.
It's opposite day.
It's opposite day.
Oh, yeah.
And as the saying goes, judge on their actions, not on their words.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, also what happened also with Joe Biden is the other day, Lauren Boebert introduced articles of impeachment again. This time, instead of doing the actual votes in the House, they voted to send the articles to the Judiciary Committee, the subcommittee in the House. What I was reading, how I was looking at it, is Lauren Boebert did it to where through the Judiciary Committee to gather all the evidence to bring.
Remember,
all the evidence to light.
This is what they did with Trump and his 2 impeachments. They sent it to the Judiciary. They aired every person that talked, regardless of how trivial what they had to say, and made it out to be amazing. You know, I heard from 5 different people. I'm 5 times removed from the conversation, but I heard from this person, this person.
The one person, the one representative I'm waiting for to do that is Miss Luna. Have you seen Miss Luna? Miss Luna is my favorite representative at this moment. If you don't know who Miss Luna is, Look her up. She's fucking fantastic. Actually, she's the one that sent the articles for Adam to be censured.
Oh, by the way, we didn't go this. He did get censored the other day.
He did.
He didn't. They didn't fine
they
him
didn't
the
fine
60
him.
million, but they did censor him. Do you have the reaction from the Democrats when they did it? Oh God.
They were
Them
they were
chanting for,
screaming
like-
they were chanting shift the whole time, and I'm like,
No, shame.
shame.
Yes,
all
for
it
5
did was
minutes.
just, ooh, all it did was like, ooh, you get a black mark on your record. Ooh, fucking who gives a shit about the censorship? I really don't care.
Well, it's supposed to mean he can't be ahead of any
committees,
which is he's not going to be the head of
He's
any
not
committees
the head of
until
any committee.
we have Republicans right now. So
Yeah, so
that's But
the Durham. If you didn't watch, I was in Shipwrecks live during the Durham.
Oh God, that was so amazing.
Like the Durham fucking he fucking put Schiff in his place. I mean, Adam Schiff is when he first got into office, like no one paid attention to him. No one gave a shit about it.
No.
And then all of a sudden his face is everywhere, and it's like, man, you need to just go the fuck away.
Right.
But with going back to the impeachment, so now all the evidence has to come to light before they can do a full House vote for Joe Biden's impeachment, which I think is in precedent way the way it should be in the first place, not just a blanket vote.
And you know what? The only thing is I'm hoping that they open up it more than the scope of what Boebert suggested, because she wanted it just on the southern border. Like that was her reasoning.
Well,
and I think that is the least of the reasons. Yeah, that's
the border. They're using the border. They're using the border as the forefront because that is actually in the Constitution of the Articles of the President to secure our borders. So, I think it's Article 4 of the jobs of the president is to secure borders. So, that's the precedent of the articles of impeachment that he's not doing it, and we have proof.
I think it should go further and go into doing more information about Burisma and.
Oh no! I mean, I have a 100% feeling that's going to be coming to light.
Speaking of which,
all the blackmail and
the guy from the whistleblower from Burisma suicided himself. He got suicided. Huh.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Bidens are using the Clinton playbook.
I think the Clintons are doing it. But that's just me. I mean,
by the way, neither me nor Ryan are suicidal. So if something ever
I don't know
happens
about
to
that
us-
one. I mean, there are days, but no, at this moment, no. And then, well, you know how we talk about it. We'll just move on from that because that's going to be a continuing discussion. Now we're going to do a little small excerpt of Canada because we're going to move into Russian news here in a moment. Canada doesn't have the freedom of speech like we do here.
No.
Doesn't have the ability to get their information willy-nilly. So Trudeau passed a bill to remove all news feeds from social media. So Meta came out and said, "Nope, I'm not putting. We are no." They had to pay or something. There was a payment that social media had to do to post news, and they're like, "Fine, we're just not doing that at all." So Canada's going to be in the dark when it comes to news feeds now.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When people talk about where they get their news, the left likes to think if you're Republican, you watch Fox News 24/7. And it's like, I have not watched Fox News in like 10 years. Every so often I'll see clips and stuff. A lot of my news, though, is aggregated through social media. Aggregated through Facebook, aggregated through Twitter. So when someone says, where do you get your news? And you say Facebook, well, it's not Facebook. It's that the news is coming from legitimate news sources, but it's aggregated to me through the Facebook feed. And basically this is how most people, I think nowadays, anybody under the age of like 60, even my dad gets a good portion of his news through Facebook feeds. And Trudeau doesn't like that because he can't control what feeds or what goes into Facebook feeds.
Well, we're bringing Chip back on for a moment.
Woo! Canada. Shit's about to go dark for you. So Meta is to remove the news from Facebook and Instagram in Canada after Trudeau passed a law forcing tech giants to pay media outlets for their content. How dystopian. Meta confirmed Thursday that it planned to comply with the Online News Act by ending news availability on Facebook and Instagram for its Canadian users. Canada's Senate passed the bill Thursday that would require Google and Meta to pay media outlets for news content. Meta would not offer details about the timeline for that move, but said it will pull local news from its site before the Online News Act takes effect. It goes on to state that we repeatedly shared that in order to comply with the bill, which is named C-918, which was passed today in Parliament, content from news outlets, including news publishers and broadcasters, will no longer be available to people accessing our platforms in Canada. Good old Zuckerberg. Canada nice turned to Canada commie real quick. Listen, the United States has got its problems. We were not the good guy in a whole bunch of situations, right? Our administration is trash. Our country is divided. But I wouldn't touch Canada with a 10-foot pole and you push in. They had the strictest COVID restrictions. People driving up and down the highway in their Canadian cars with their masks on by themselves. Canadian government coming out and running over that poor old lady with a horse. America's got its problems. But I'm glad that I live here. Of course, that's not to say that we couldn't pass some dumb shit like that in the future. In fact, it's probably coming. Or maybe it's already here and it's just hidden under guides of community guidelines. Sorry, Canada, if you get your news from Facebook and Instagram, you're probably going to have to migrate over to Twitter or TikTok. Kinda.
So
I love Chip. Yeah, she's on vacation until August. So
okay, so I kind of agree with her. There's nothing that says Biden won't do another executive order because we know he doesn't care about the Constitution or
absolutely.
laws,
Constitution
so,
is just fluid. It can be changed.
Like he thinks that if he says it, it's law, and so we'll find that out pretty soon too, because he's lost how many court cases when it came to COVID, and now we have another one because of his debt forgiveness, student debt forgiveness. But anyway, so yeah. So I wonder if this would work if you put a VPN on.
Who knows? That'd be wild.
Like ExpressVPN is going to get a shit ton of Canadian customers. They're all going to, live in New York or Chicago, according to Facebook. And
right.
But the thing is, okay. But the thing is, do you remember the old Drudge report? Like back when it was like a static HTML that Matt Drudge and whoever worked for him, had to have sucked updating that website every single day. It was so hard to read because it was like static HTML, and they literally, I think they used a WYSIWYG and just dropped articles wherever they could find a space. But that was before Facebook. So that's where a lot of people got their news. And again, it's not they got it from Drudge himself. It's because Drudge aggregated it.
Yep.
So it came from other sources. Drudge just aggregated it. And so you only had one place to go. That's what Facebook is doing. Now, my question is what's that going to do also to a lot of these news organizations? Because I used to work for news and we would get a shit ton of traffic from Facebook. We would post all of our stuff to Facebook because that's where the people were. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I was gone before TikTok became a thing, but all of that. So in fact, You know how we've had showed TikToks from Dave Bondi on here, the local.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he left news. He's now independent. He couldn't stand the
Yeah,
news
he's
organization.
primarily on his own Rumble channel on Rumble.
Yep. And TikTok and Rumble. And I sent him a message because he's not far from me. And I said, hey, you know what? If you need a Fojo, I'm here for you. He hasn't gotten back to me. But I would do it. I would work with him on stuff. I would not work with if I went back into news, he would be the only, because I could not stand all of the people that I worked with were so leftist. All of the reporters, all of the editors, all of the producers, all of them. It's like, just tell the story with the facts. Like, stop putting your own damn spin on everything. But I was a Fojo, so all I did is take the video and edit it together, and they wrote the scripts. But again, the thing is it's not just hurting Facebook. It's also hurting all of these newspapers and everything from Canada, because that's where people aggregate to get their news, which means now people are going to have to go to the actual website first. And who wants to go to, let's say the US, who wants to go to CNN.com and read through that? I don't. Who wants to go to FoxNews.com? Who wants to go to MSNBC.com? Who wants to go to New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or
Absolutely.
Washington Post, Washington Times, all of these different ones, when it was so much easier just to open up my feed, tap on news and go. It knows the algorithm, as much as I hate it, it knew what I was interested in. And I didn't have to go to all of them. So these websites with their advertisers, because most of their money still comes from advertisers. It doesn't come from their paywall. They're going to lose. I guarantee they are going to look next quarter and go, we just dropped so much traffic. We look like Bud Light right now. And
no, man, Target's worse, but sure.
So Bud Light, did you see? They actually came out and tried to come out with a new slogan thing for the advertisements, like "We're with you" or something like that. And it's like, shut up. You made your bed. Live with it. Absolutely. I don't drink Bud Light anyway, but I'm definitely not now.
All right. So last but not least. So we all know Russia's still at odds with Ukraine, but there's a group within Russia called the Wagner Group. What's his name? What is his name? The one
Vladimir
that just
Putin?
got released.
Oh,
no. The
one
the
we
weapons
created
dealer.
for.
Yeah. He's
what's
been
her name?
seen with the head of the Wagner Group. I have a feeling they're the way they're talking is that they're going to go one-on-one with Putin. So Putin's army versus the Wagner Group. Wagner Group has 20,000 spec op Russian soldiers.
Yep.
So these guys are specialists. So
Basically, imagine when everyone talks about, oh, you won't be able to fight the U.S. military. Imagine if all of the retired military started their own military to go against the U.S. military. Like, that's basically what's happening.
Yeah.
So the Wagner Group is a mercenary group. It's a paramilitary organization founded by Yevgeny Prigozhin, I don't know, who was a close ally for a long time of Vladimir Putin. And he recently admitted to funding the Wagner Group in 2014 to support Russia in its annexation of Crimea, and provided military assistance to pro-Russia separatists fighting in Ukraine. So there's a split, a major split. And it's looking like
it got to the point to where the Wagner Group, I guess at one point was like 2 hours away, and then they clocked them going into Moscow, and they're like they didn't expect him to get from where they were to back to Moscow as quick as they did. And Putin, I guess, had to be evacuated from Moscow because
so they're back in Belarus right now. And the Kremlin said as of today that they're trying to make a deal with them to diffuse crisis of them going back into Moscow. So Russia's having a hard time. They're basically fighting a war against Ukraine. Mind you, Ukraine is smaller than like most U.S. states, not just in land size, but in like people size. And Russia's getting their asses handed to them to the point that people are still worried they're going to bring out dirty bombs and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And now, and we talk about this like a year ago, that Russia's going to start fighting itself once they start losing the war.
Eventually, yeah.
So, you know, Putin knows he has to win this war against. He has to win this war.
He has to make a deal with the group.
Well, he has to make a deal with the group, but he has to win the war because he has no off ramp. He has no off ramp to save face. If he makes a deal with I keep wanting to say Afghanistan, but it's the hell, what country did they invade?
Ukraine.
Ukraine, thank you. He has to make if he makes a deal with Ukraine so that Ukraine, you know, gives up a little bit of land or something like that and they stop, he is going to lose so much faith from the Russian people that he's gone. He has to win this war, and now he has to come up with another deal and basically win against these mercenaries that he trained. Like, they were military that are no longer military, that said, hey, we have all these skills, we can take you on. And
oh yeah, they have tanks, they have guns, they have gear. You know, with the Wagner Group defecting, I mean, it's gonna put a hinder on Russia's war towards Ukraine, and so that alone, that happened today. So
so we're still in the
Ukraine
fog of
is taking
everything.
advantage. They're trying to reclaim sections of their country back from Russia. They're pushing back now, from what I saw. So it's like, what caused the Wagner Group? That's the thing. Nobody realizes what caused the Wagner Group to make this decision,
to basically defect. I mean, that's essentially what they're doing. And Putin's trying to cut a deal with them so that they aren't defectors. And because right now it's treason. I mean, and you know, but he has to come up with something, because otherwise there's going to be bloodshed right in the middle of Russia, you know, right in Moscow. And I think Putin has to come up with a deal for them, because if he doesn't, and there is bloodshed in Moscow, that's even more.
The thing is, Russian forces are all in Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I pull my military back or do I get my ass fucked up?
Right. And he's trying to come up with an off-ramp for this that helps him save face. And really there isn't one unless he can cut a deal and say, hey, I'll pay you a ton of money if you fight with us instead of against us. Which maybe that's the thing. We don't know what their motive is because nobody knows anything yet. Like this is just happening right now. I'm interested to see how this plays out. Because I think the other thing that is scary about this, though, is if they do take it and they do take over Russia, Moscow, and basically unseat Putin, a lot of these are old-time KGB style fighters. They're mercenaries. That's exactly what they are. And that's going to raise tensions with the US, with the UN, everything. There's going to be a cascading effect. So as much as I don't want to see Putin in office, I don't necessarily want to see this group either. Because I think they might be worse. It's very reminiscent of Russia's czars being taken over by Stalin and all of them.
Absolutely. I mean, we could see the old USSR again.
Right.
And then, but the thing is, that means Ukraine will get absorbed. Belarus will get absorbed. All of those bordering countries will just get reabsorbed, and then the curtain will go back up. And when the curtain goes back up, we don't fucking know what the hell's going on.
Right.
And all.
And then it involves the US and the UN and all these other countries. So it's one of them. What's the lesser of two evils between the two? And we don't know anything about this group to know if they are less evil than Putin. Now, mind you, Putin is KGB also, but he's also KGB that has kind of been not tamed, but castrated a little bit. So it's such a hard thing to know, and I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what else to say on this outside of we have to keep watching.
This is something we're just gonna have to keep paying attention to, and hope for the best in the end. Like a lot of us said, like the war in Ukraine should have never happened in the first place, and all we're doing is keep provoking it going on with the U.S. being involved.
Yeah.
We should have never gotten involved. I'll say that from the get-go.
You know, I love on TikTok. There was a TikToker. I couldn't save his video because he didn't have it set to save. But he was going around and he was basically asking people, well, would you have rather Russia take over Ukraine and have lower gas prices, or would you rather higher gas prices and us defending Ukraine? It's like, really? Right now? Kind of want the lower gas prices, like,
right?
I mean, but the thing is it's too simplified of what's going on. You know, you can still back a country without completely involving yourself and cutting off your resources as a part of it. The other part is we should have never been reliant on Russian oil.
I mean, fucking what Trump called it, in 2017, where everyone was going to be dependent on Russia, and
yeah, and that's it. I mean, Germany was so dependent on Russian oil that after the spigot got shut off, they actually had to change natural gas and I think it was diesel. Say, hey, by the way, we can start these factories back up with natural gas and diesel from our country, because you know what, we can't let you guys not have electricity anymore, because they wanted to be green, but they weren't really green. All they did is just offload all their stuff to another country and say, we're green, we're not burning our own fossil fuels. It's You don't get in bed with dictators. Oh, weird side note. Did you hear Biden call Xi Jinping a dictator?
Yes.
So Biden spent like the last month sending people over to kiss China's ass for, oil and goods and everything to try to slow down or stop the looming recession that's coming, or depression. And then all of a sudden he's on microphones calling him a dictator. I'm like, ooh, way to put your foot in your mouth there. But then he also believes that we're still a part of the crown, and long live the queen. So
King. But other than that, I mean,
well, he said queen.
He's an idiot.
Did he say long live the queen or God save the queen? Something like that.
Probably God save the queen.
Yeah. It's like we're not British, and you were talking to the military, the US military.
I don't think
I don't
think he knows where he's at anymore. But I'm kind of full with this. It was great,
yeah. I think we're good. So let's hit the contact button. See you guys next week, and thanks, Ryan.
We're out.
This is Fire Talk Radio Podcast, and you can check us out at firetalkradio.com. You can email us at firetalknetwork@gmail.com. You can send us a voicemail at 814-380-9820. You can always check us out live on YouTube and Rumble. Hit the like and subscribe button to find out when we go live, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting streaming platform.
I can only count to 4. We can only count to 4. We can only count